Baki Hanma is an insanely skillful fighter with a big arsenal of different techniques. First, let's talk about his most useful and powerful techniques. Baki can materialize an array of historical fighters, whether human or otherwise, through his vivid imagination. Though not physically present, these manifested beings can inflict real damage upon Baki if they attack him. A notable instance of this ability occurred when he manifested Iron Michael to showcase his shadow boxing proofs to Rumina. In a swift encounter, Baki engaged in a brief bout with the champ, ultimately emerging victorious. Later driven by a desire to suppress his father's extraordinary feat of defeating an African prehistoric-era looking elephant, Baki manifested a formidable 100-kilo praying mantis in his basement. This endeavor was not without peril, as the fight against the mantis pushed Baki to the brink of death, causing him to teeter on the verge of losing consciousness. Such exceptional manifestations exemplify the extent of Baki's remarkable capabilities and the risks he willingly undertakes to achieve his aspirations. Baki possesses a unique and special ability that allows him to elevate his endorphin levels, resulting in increased durability and pain resistance. He can activate the production of endorphins within his body, effectively inhibiting the transmission of pain signals. A special fighting skill of the Hanma family, in which the user very forcefully flexes the back muscles to perform the face of a demon. The user becomes many times stronger than their level prior to activation in every aspect, experiencing an increase in physical strength, speed, endurance, stamina and more. The user can virtually absorb any hit and dish out massive amounts of damage in return. In truth, the demon face is not so much a technique as it is a predetermined advantage such as high or muscle building capacity, since it is a gift dependent on genetics and bloodline. However, it can be treated as a technique since it is only activated when the user decides to use it. Throughout his battles, Baki exhibits an impressive array of techniques that demonstrate his exceptional fighting proofs. Here is a full arsenal of Baki's skills. Thanks to this ability, Baki Hanma is able to boost his body reflexes. For the first time he felt that experience when he threw himself off a cliff in the first series, and soon afterward he used it during his fight against Yasha Zaru. Yujiro Hanma described the skill in this way: "That moment only comes when you are about to meet death, but if you are able to control every moment, you will be able to control death, and that is where true strength hides."
Are you okay, buddy?
Ippon Ken is a karate striking technique that uses the extended knuckle of the middle finger in order to strike a target. The technique is very effective when a fighter wants to attack a specific point of the opponent's body. If properly done, it will restrict blood flow to the brain through the carotid arteries, leaving the opponent unconscious. It consists of taking a leap to stand on the enemy when the body is turned to drop a strong spin kick against the opponent. Bow and arrow is a pro wrestling fighting move. Baki Hanma used it once against Satsushi Suero during the Shinshinkai Karate tournament. The Seiken is a karate practitioner's straight punch, shoot from the waist with the first two knuckles. At first, the user grabs the opponent's arm and then he slams him into the ground. The fighter puts his right leg on the opponent's neck and he keeps a balance with the other leg. With this move, the user can easily break his opponent's arms.
The match that was over before it began continues!
A powerful blow which is intended to damage man's most vulnerable and sensitive vital organ, the testicles. The user grabs his opponent with both arms from behind, then he throws him backward and slams him to the ground. To perform it, a fighter has to stiffen his body to its utmost limits on the moment of impact. When a fighter uses it at the right moment during a second punch, all of his joints will be fixed. It's very difficult to do, but if he succeeds, his fist will strike with the weight of his whole body. The user has to jump and deliver a kick to the back of the opponent's head. Baki's grappling technique. One more grappling technique, and one more grappling technique. The user must crouch on the opponent's left side and grab him by the abdomen. Then the opponent must be lifted until he is on his shoulders. Finally, the user must jump back so that the opponent hits the head, neck and shoulders against the ground. It's a pro wrestling move. The user latches onto the opponent's shoulders, holding the head between their legs, and proceeds to rotate with the head locked to the legs to snap the neck. Imagine that your opponent is a soccer ball. To perform this offensive move, the opponent must be in the position in which he has his knee exposed. Then the attacker has to step on the opponent's knee and strike with his own knee. The user can sever the opponent's cords with a finger. The user aligns his joints perfectly to deliver a punch or punches that break the sound barrier. At first, the user grabs one of the opponent's arm over their shoulder with one or both of their arms. With all of their strength, the user then quickly breaks or snaps the opponent's arms.
Imagining your body is a liquid. Oh, and then...
Whip strike is a technique that involves the user making their body as loose and fluid as possible, allowing the practitioner to use their arms like whips, enabling them to perform powerful slaps which affect the skin.
Now here I come!
Human is triggered half a second earlier than the brain orders to move, so when a danger coming in, you see it but can't move for 0.5 seconds because of your brain. So if you overcome this 0.5 second, you had an advantage above your opponent and can beat him freely for half of a second. Baki first leans his upper body forward, putting his right leg back and clenches both his fists to make a stance resembling that of a triceratops. Despite the fact that Baki weight is only about 70 kilos, the weight of that attack exceeds 100 kilos and the power is strong enough to push over a car.
He launches himself at his target.
What do you think, Dad? 167 miles per hour. A little move I like to call the cockroach tackle.
Baki was able to relax to the point of feeling like a liquid before snapping back together and dash forward at incredible speeds. Baki's speed when using this move is 168 miles per hour with an acceleration of 0.01 milliseconds.
The fastest first draw is faster than a fraction of a second. Ultimately, the choice the young man's body made to be the fastest was not to pull his hands out of his pockets, but to leave his hands at the same height and lower his body in order to...
In the beginning, the user must hide his hands in his pockets, then he makes a surprise attack with a fast and precise movement. At first, the user lets his opponent punch and then climbs on top of him, placing one leg on the opponent's back and kicking his chin with the other leg. Then the user puts him to the arm lock position.
Kill one another. Then why don't you accept losing? Goes away. You're not a son, so it's probably hard for you to understand. All the techniques we've continued to master. All the pain we've endured.
Blending with an attacker's movements allows the Aiki practitioner to control the actions of the attacker with minimal effort. So this was all of Baki's skills throughout the whole series. If I forget something, leave your comments down below. If this video was interesting to you, leave a like and subscribe for more. Also don't forget to ring the bell for not to miss any new videos on my channel. Thank you all for watching. For today I'm out. Bye!